Hey everybody, Garcia here, and today we're going to be using monsters to go to a forbidden place, a forbidden cafe, and get us the finest cups of coffee in Monster Cafe. In this card game, the players are going to be playing cards to the center of the table, triggering special abilities, and then at the end of the round, and there are 2 rounds in a game, scoring coffee cups, victory points, depending on the ones in the middle of the table and the ones they held back in front of them. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this works. I'll show you a quick demonstration of how it goes, then we'll come on back on the other side, and I'll tell you what I think of it. The game's going to be played over 2 rounds, and the objective of those rounds is to get the most coffee cups, these little tokens right here. And so each of those 2 rounds is going to go like this. We're going to shuffle up the deck of cards. Everyone gets 10. Unless you're playing a 2-player game, everyone gets 12 in that case. And then everyone is going to select 3 cards to put in their back row, and they'll reveal the other 7 up front. The rest of the deck we will set aside for the second round, where all of this will be shuffled up again and divvied out once more. And then we are ready to begin. In this game, you are going to be on your turn selecting one of these monsters that is in front of someone and putting it in the center of the table, triggering its power if it has one. And then once everyone is down to the 3 cards in the back and then 3 cards in the front, we are going to compare the strengths for each of the different kinds of monsters and see who gets those coffee cups. So I'm going to be the start player over here, and I take a look around. I know the 3 I put in the back, but I don't know anyone else's, and I'll talk about the strengths of those and how we divvy up those points in just a little bit. And I am going to select one and place it. I'm going to teach you the powers of these as I am going through this round. And be aware, this is just a few of the monsters. There are 5 kinds in here, but you've got also these that I'm not using for this explanation that you could choose to put in there. Choose any 5 you want, and so you can make the game a little bit different every time you are playing it. So I am starting. I am going to select this player's line. I'm going to select this one. I'm going to put him out. This monster here is going to give me immediately 1 coffee cup. So I put that in my supply, and it is the next player's turn. That player is going to select one. They're going to pick my monster here. They're going to put that out in the center, and they're going to immediately get one of these cookie tokens. The cookie tokens we are going to keep until the very end of the game, so past this first round and into the second round. And whoever has the most of these is going to get 5 cups of coffee at the very end of the game. So they're keeping that. And then it'll be that player's turn. That player is going to select this monster here. They're going to put that out in the center of the table. This one does nothing right now. But at the end of the round here, when we get to scoring, this monster will be worth twice as much as the other ones, as you'll see once I get to scoring. It'll be this player's go. This player is going to select this monster here and put it out in the center of the table, and they're going to get 1 dollop of whipped cream here. This one is going to allow the players to break ties. Whoever has the most of these is going to break ties in their favor. So they're going to take that dollop. It'll come back around to me, and I am going to check my monsters here in the back to see what I like. And I am going to select this one. Let's see. Let's take another look real quick here. All right. I'm going to select this cookie monster over here. I'm going to put it out there. I can combine them like so if I want to. I'll take one of those cookies. It'll be this player's turn. And they are going to select one of these dollops, put it out, take that. It'll go to that player. That player is going to select one of these, and they are going to trigger the power on that one. The power on that one allows that player. They are now going to pick a player around the table, and they're going to say, you have in your back row this specific type of monster. All right. So this player over here just played the dollop. Strengthening that. They've got 2 in the front here. That player's thinking maybe they have 1 in the reserve as well. So they're going to guess, I think you have one of these monsters. If that player does, which indeed they do, they're going to reveal that monster, and the guessing player gets 2 coffee cups. If they were wrong, the player will not reveal anything. They'll just say, no, I don't have it. And instead, that player will get 2 cups of coffee. And we continue doing this. Now, as you'll see, this player is down to 3 in the front and 3 in the back. So no one can pick from their line anymore. These are locked in now. And so they will go. They're going to play this one. And they're going to take one of those. Comes back around to me. I am going to select and play that one. Gets me an immediate cup of coffee. We go over here. This player is going to, let's see, what do they got here? All right. They're going to play this one. That player is going to go, and that player is going to take another stab at guessing. And they are going to guess, you know what? They're going to guess on that player again. And they're going to go, I think you have one of these kinds of monsters. And indeed, they do. Okay, they got caught again. So 2 more cups of coffee over here. That player's just raking it in during the round. Comes back around to this player here. They're going to get into this cookie business. So they're going to do that. They get 1 cookie there that they'll put in their little supply. Comes back around to me. And I'm going to play from my own line here so I can lock which 3 I want in front. So I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm going to play this one. And I'm going to get one of those cups of coffee. Now that player is also paying attention. I'm really invested in these in this kind of mosquito here. So he's going to try to see if he can find one. He'll say, yeah, I think you have one of those in the back. And yep, I sure do. So they get 2 cups of coffee. Again, if they had been wrong, I get those. And so that player's done. That player will go. That player is going to guess. Let's see. Let's take a look at what they got back here. They are going to put out that one and get a cookie for themselves. This player is going to play last, and they are going to play one of these. They're going to play that one. Now everybody is down to 3 in the front, 3 in the back. And we do the final scoring for this round. Again, this represents half of a full game, okay? Anything in the back that is not yet revealed is going to be revealed, but it's left in the back. That's important. So there we go. That's what everybody's got. And now we are going to give out coffee cups for everything represented in the middle out here. So we're going to go through these monster by monster and see who controls them and give out some cups. So let's start with this cookie one. There are 4 in the middle here. So we're going to check everyone's strength of that type. If it's in the front, it's worth 1 strength. If it's in the back, it's worth 2 strength. So my strength in it is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's pretty good. This player has 1, 2, 3. That player has none at all. And this player has 1. So that's me. I have the most. And I'm going to get 1 cup of coffee for everyone in the center. 4 in this case. Great, I'll take a 5 and put back a 1. That's 4 for me. We can now remove these just to make it a little clearer in the middle. Let's go ahead and do these guys next. I have 1, 2, 3. This player has 2. That player has 2. This player has none. So that's me again, and I'm going to get 3 points for that. And then we remove these from the game. We're going to take a look at these now. It looks like 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. It looks like it's that player. They're going to get 3, so I'll give them a 5 and take 2 back. These are gone. These over here, that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 over there. And none for me, and then 1. So these 2 players are tied. However, this player over here has 1 of these dollops of whipped cream, and that player has none. So they break the tie in their favor. They're going to get those 4 points. Very good. And these are gone. And then lastly, these, which I left for last because they're worth double. So whoever wins this is going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 cups of coffee. And it looks like it's going to be this player right here with a strength of 4 because they kept 2 in the back. So they win that, and they are going to take 4 of those cups of coffee. They will put those in their reserve. And now that that's done, we're going to clean up everything. The players are going to keep their cups of coffee. They are going to get rid of the dollops of whipped cream, but they'll keep the cookies. Those are not scored until the very end of the game. And then we do it again. We shuffle up everything. We divvy out 10 cards once more. Everybody keeps 3 in the back, 7 in the front, and we go through that same process until the game is over. And then you combine your score from that first round, that second round. You give 5 points to whoever has the most of the cookies. And that's the game. That's basically it. So let's go back up and I'll tell you what I think of the game. I'm not going to dive into the extra characters here. I'll leave that for you to discover on your own. But that should give you an idea of how the whole thing works. So let me tell you what I think of it. So that is Monster Café. I have to say I wasn't sure what to expect out of this one. It's a new line of games, which all have a great look to them. But I wasn't sure specifically about this. The way it reads, you can't really tell how it's going to play out. But I have to say I was pleasantly surprised with how the game feels. I think it's a clever game, a very subtle game, but a very clever and engaging one. So let's go ahead and talk about this a little more in depth. There are a couple of things that I had issues with, but overall I do like it. So let's get the negatives out of the way first. The theme here, the setting, is kind of ridiculous. I know that this group of designers like to make games about coffee, and it just seems weird, but cool, that's fine. It just doesn't really make any sense. You will immediately forget about it. Doesn't really help teach. It just is a bizarre concept. So, I don't know what to think about it. So there you go. And then the second thing, and really the big negative here, is the aesthetics in the game. Now, the look of the game, I think, is excellent. I love the illustrations. I love the artwork. I love the way the game looks. It's the construction quality that I have a big problem with. This company, and I believe it's a new publisher, their packaging is quirky. I'll say that. This is what the box looks like. It's just artwork on the back. And then you open a flap, which has a little tiny magnetic clasp there. And you're going to get a little breakdown of what the game is like. In French, of course. You can get the English rules online, but it's all in French. And then, to actually open the game, you have to cut a sticker that sits here on the side. Then you are going to push through that spot, remove this from within it. You can set that aside now. And then this here flops open. This is very sort of flimsy cardboard. As you can see, it's sort of a folded together thing, right, of paper, basically, hard paper. And then the rule books and player rates and all that, or not really player rates, but sort of explanation of the different monsters, that's in here. So there's several pieces of literature here, and you have to get them back in there, which is a little tricky. They sort of hit something down the way. I don't know what, some paper down the way. So there's that. And then also, this tears extremely easily. This is just really bad packaging. And the card quality is not good. Some of these cards are starting to fray at the corners and sort of split down the middle of the card. So that's a big thumbs down. That's very unfortunate. This is not the kind of game that is going to go the distance, quality-wise. If you really fall in love with it and you want to play this a lot, you're going to tear through it. And there's also, it's a slightly weird size for the card, so it's going to be hard getting sleeves as well. So again, just big, disappointing, truly, thumbs down when it comes to the aesthetics. Other things I do like. Replayability is nice. Nice variety with the monsters. Nice that you can change the way the game feels based on which monsters you put in or take out. The game scales well. I like that about it. So good stuff. The game length is amazingly quick. This is 20 minutes or so it really works well on that front, and it feels like a filler. It's not as fulfilling as a longer game, but it just feels lightning quick, Ease of play. Simple to grasp, simple to play, no big hiccups here. I think it's nice. It's a clever concept at play, works well. And then lastly, tactics and strategy, luck, of course. What I like about it, which I was not expecting again, is that the game does feel in many ways subtle. There is bluffing in the game, but it's subtle because of what you keep, what you play, who you play from. There's also subtle shifts in it depending on what monsters are in and what monsters are out. So there may be more bluffing or less. Pushing your luck. There may be more of that or less. And you will, over several plays, discover these little things that sort of dawn on you, or at least they did on me. You know, you might play it one time and think, yeah, I got this. This is so obvious. But, and it is, don't get me wrong, it is a simple game. But I like that as you play more, you'll start to see things like, I could do tricky things. I could, set out honey pots and traps and things to scare people off, and I can push my luck and maybe get a leg up on everybody else. There's all these little things, and it's all wrapped up in a 20-minute little card game, which is clever and pretty. It's just, unfortunately, really bad quality components. That's my big thing here. So this would get a better score, I think, but as it is, I do like it. I think it's a clever game. So there you go. I am still going to give this a seal of approval at 7 out of 10. But I would say, again, if it wasn't so, if the quality was better, it would maybe get a little bit more. But as it is, 7 out of 10. I like it. I would recommend, if you can get your hands on it, that you do so, especially if you like bluffing games, if you like little filler card games, things of that nature. You want something simple, but a little bit different, with a little more under the facade than the box and the look would lead you to believe. So there you go. That is Monster Cafe, everybody. Like I said, seal of approval from me. Thanks for checking this out. I'm Z Garcia, and I'll see you on the next one.